All right. Episode 15, I think.
The other countries in the world could suck it because the Pope's American.
Yeah.
That's right.
Chicago.
He said some very interesting things. He said many people perceive Christianity as absurd and meant for the weak and the unintelligent. Finally, a Pope who gets me.
Oh, God. Atheist Bill Maher, man.
Immediately, the Republic, he's too woke Pope.
Yeah, he's a woke Pope, a little bit.
And the liberals are like, no, I think he voted Republican when he was in Chicago. When you're a Pope, you got a direct line to the big guy up there. So
it's like that song, What If God Was One of Us? And she says, no one's calling on the phone, not even the Pope in Rome.
he prayed for wisdom, he prayed for humility, and he prayed, keep J.D. Vance the hell away from me.
Yeah.
At the inauguration, remember that thing with the Bible in the hand and I guess I took an oath of office. I thought it was just like one of those user agreements when you get the phone, whatever, except, he said, I'm president and presidents have a right to go to the theater. And besides, when did anything bad ever happen to a president?
Oh, imagine if it happened. Oh.
Consumers don't need $30. $30? I can barely blow up one. First, maybe children will have to have $2. And then a couple of days later, he said they're going to have $3 or $4.
Oh, God.
And then he bumped it up the next day, $5. Yes, that's our deal maker in chief, losing. He also said, people don't need 250 pencils. They can have 5. Well, this is going to sting, 5 pencils, because I use a lot of pencils because it's 1960.
Yeah, what?
You know what? Let's look on the bright side. It's Mother's Day Sunday.
Yeah. David Hogg. He was good the last time he was here.
Wow.
It's like deja vu.
Yeah.
What does that job entail?
So that job really helps to play a role in managing a lot of what the DNC focuses on, which is things like the presidential primary. It's helping to be the campaign and waiting for the president. It's helping to manage the debate schedule and helping to support our state parties and local parties around the country. It's a volunteer role, I should add, as well. So it's entirely volunteer capacity.
So nothing.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is, last election cycle, we lost vote share with every single demographic, except predominantly the older people and people with PhDs. That is a major problem. And this really became true to me last September when my father was on his deathbed with early onset Parkinson's disease. Despite being a Navy helicopter pilot with full VA benefits and a medically retired FBI agent, his cost of care at the end of his life was $19,000 a month. And I had to make a spreadsheet to figure out how long we could afford to keep him alive. And the only reason why my family didn't go bankrupt is because my dad didn't live long enough for that to happen. And unfortunately, that's not a unique story in this country. And there are so many people
that's a terrible reason,
decisions like that every day. What are we doing to ensure that nobody has to make impossible decisions like that anywhere in the richest country on the planet? And what are we doing as well to fight back against the corruption?
What should they have done? Where is the gap there that the Democrats didn't do something and then your father had this terrible experience?
So I want to acknowledge that the reason why my dad was able to even remain on his insurance in the first place was because of the protections of the Affordable Care Act, which was championed by Democrats.
Yeah.
Far too many people, especially younger people, are struggling to afford their rent. They're struggling to afford college. They're struggling to afford their health care. And what we have to show is, what are we doing to make it so that that's...
You're not answering my question. What are the Democrats proposing? What are you proposing to get that money from the people who don't have it and need it? Where are we going to get that money?
And expanded social safety nets.
People know that this is what the Democrats are better at. The voters know that, and they still didn't vote for them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go and look why they didn't vote for them, it was more the woke stuff, wasn't it?
Why?
That's what I was going to say. The stuff he's talking about is way too complicated. But I think for the average voter. But something like get rid of men and women's sports, all the woke stuff, it's a lot easier to get that message across. So you, as a Democrat, as a politician who's a Democrat, you have to address that part of the far left and denounce it. And then you'll get a little bit of both sides, the center, the moderates. Because in order for you to get people to vote for something like changing the healthcare system, you're gonna have to get into numbers, statistics, and insurance policies and stuff, and it's too much information. A lot of voters just go by the headline. That's it.
She's for they, them, and he's for you. Well, that was the big ad that worked.
Yeah. I think people said to us that Joe Biden is too old, and they said that prices are too high.
Yeah.
And we said with the power of $2 billion behind us, no, he's not, then yes, he is. And then no, they aren't. Look at this graph of, the stock market or whatever it is. If you tell people not to believe their eyes or their wallets, you're going to lose them. And part of what I'm trying to do here
Trump does it all the time.
Well, he is Donald Trump. Ultimately, unlike Republicans, Democrats have the hard job of making government work. We don't run on the idea that it's not going to work and then do a terrible job by screwing up our economy with tariffs and then blaming the guy that just came before us and saying, oh, this is all because of us.
That's
when we
true.
see clearly it is his fault. But we heard it. What you
And James Carville called you a contemptible little twerp.
Well, then he flipped as well. And he came around and he said, actually, the DNC should not remove David.
And you're not a twerp.
Exactly. Well, it's because...
Yeah, that too.
Look, we have our differences, but ultimately we all want to do the same thing here, which is get back to winning majorities and delivering for the American people. And that's what he saw there. And part of what happens in politics is people...
I don't know, man. This guy sounds like a politician.
Incompatible.
A Democratic politician.
The same people in the positions of power that they're in that are individually beneficial. Very
robotic.
And they want to get back to give voters the option of voting for somebody new so that they at least have the option.
Right, so you want to get rid of the dead wood.
Effectively, yes, but it's not just a matter of age, to be clear. Unfortunately, Bill, as you know, there are young people who suck just as much as there are older people who suck as well.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
But thank God.
Right. It's a crime. It's not.
Whenever I see someone your age talking politics, it's usually a Republican guy. I mean, that seems to be where all the energy and and we know that the Democrats do have a problem with men.
Yes. They would rather vote for somebody who even if they don't completely agree with, they don't feel judged by, than somebody who they do agree with, that they feel like they have to walk on eggshells around constantly because they're going to be judged or ostracized or excommunicated. Young people should be able to focus on what young people should be focused on, which is how to get laid and how to go and have fun.
David Hogg for president.
Well, young guys. I don't know about young women.
She's a veteran Democratic political strategist and an ABC News contributor, Donna Brazile.
There was one episode or a few where she was like trash.
I first want what?
Can I start again?
Okay.
Now, first of all, Bill, I came all the way out here because you came to Washington, D.C. and I live just a few blocks from the White House. And I don't know what's wrong with you, but I had gumbo, I had boudin, I had some etouffee, jambalaya. But I just want to let you know I've got over that because I'm a Catholic girl and I can forgive you.
Yeah.
The dinner ran long, is what I was that point of view. I was raised Catholic, so we were all raised Catholic. We all have that in common. I got over it. Some people don't.
Oh, my God.
We still have our Catholic guilt.
We do.
He put out a picture of himself as the Pope last week, and nobody cared.
Nobody. Everybody went crazy.
I just feel like religion, it's so anachronistic at this point, and nobody really, it's just like a hobby. It's like, it's a feel-good story. It's like when the pandas are fucking, it's like, we have a new Pope, oh great.
Nah, I think Bill's wrong about that. I think religion is making a comeback right now. Yeah, back in like 2007, 8, 9, 10, atheism was a big thing, but it was like a little fad, and now it's going away.
I think it's actually a good moment in time where you have the first American Pope.
Yeah.
And I think that may give an opportunity for someone to engage, frankly, within our country.
India and Pakistan,
oh man,
two nuclear-tipped countries, look like they're about to go to war.
I remember they asked Obama, "What is the number one thing that keeps you up at night?" And he gave a bunch of answers, and I think that the person who asked him was like, "Really? That's what you worry about?" And he was like, "Honestly, India and Pakistan, because they're two, I guess, you want warring countries somewhat." They really don't get along. Yeah, one's Hindu, one's Muslim. I mean, Pakistan is Muslim and India's Hindu. And they both had nuclear weapons. That's dangerous, man. But the only thing that's reassuring is that mutual destruction theory or hypothesis, whatever they want to call it. But why would anyone send a nuke to a country that also has nukes? Hopefully not.
He turned water into wine. He listened to his mother and got the party restarted. I'm always
cheers to that.
This new pope, his lineage is he's Creole.
Yes.
Yeah.
White smoke, black pope.
Maternal grandparents from Haiti.
Yeah.
So he's kind of also the first black pope, or at least part black pope.
We claim it.
Part black.
We claim everything. We're from New Orleans. We'll claim you. We'll make you gumbo.
Hello.
When he was in Chicago, he's for, but he's the way everybody gets partisan. Yeah. He's also for the poor and refugees.
He's like a centrist, man. He's a moderate.
Then they moved to Chicago. He was an altar boy until he lost his looks. All right, so.
Oh, this guy. My God.
We all saw this video, or if you didn't, I'm going to show it to you now.
Okay.
Of this, to me, is the shot heard around the world. The robots have started to fight back. Have you not seen the video?
The video, oh man!
Let's show it. This is from a factory.
I thought it was AI.
It's sketchy as to why. Well, what happened? But plainly, we'll just show the video and then we'll talk about it. And there it is. He's sort of, the robot's hanging on this crane, and then
that's weird.
He's
fighting.
Okay. I assume that means they were working on it. This looks like a factory floor. You see, the guy was very scared.
Yeah.
This is not faked, you know.
That's what I thought.
If you don't get that this is where this is going, that the robots are going to fight back. I mean, I don't even swear at my car anymore. I'm too afraid. I swear to God. People keep trying to get me onto ChatGPT, and I'm like, I'll do it when it's not wrong, like 1 out of 20 times. It just makes shit up.
Oh.
And then speaks about it authoritatively. And I guess if you argue with it, it's going to go fucking nuts like this.
We still have some control. And if we don't figure this out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The time is now.
Yep. Now, right now.
While we can still unplug them.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what they did with this one. They unplugged it.
I don't know if he's going to bring it up or not, but I think that the tariffs, Trump wants to bring back manufacturing to the USA, but I don't think it's for humans. I think it's for the bots, for the robots to take to work those factories and warehouses and whatnot. So imagine the reason why they don't do it like they used to in the USA, because it costs too much to pay the American worker. So they move the jobs overseas. But now with the coming robots, they can bring them back and not worry about paying a living wage. I think that's really what it's about, I think.
The ones you're going to have in your house, that we're getting very close to that already. It's going to be Megan. It's going to be the doll that goes nuts, and you can't unplug it.
Back in 2020, I was a Yang Gang all the way. But now I'm forward party and get both sides together. Not the far right, not the far left, but in the middle. Come together. Let's go forward, like Andrew Yang says. And more than likely, it looks like they're going to use these bots for a lot of jobs, including what he's saying, truck drivers. Andrew Yang was talking about that back in 2020. And it, every year keeps advancing and advancing. And I think Tesla is investing in that. They want driverless truck drivers. Now, if you let a big portion, giant portion of the population of men, most of them are men, most truck drivers are men, and you take away their source of income, according to him, and I believe him, according to like statistics and numbers and whatnot, men who don't work get very depressed. They need to do something. And if they can't earn money, they can't work, it's going to be detrimental to society, like really, really bad. One option is to provide a basic income. And the way you do it is by taxing those corporations who are going to use those robots. And that money should go back to society. through taxes and provide a basic income for everyone. And, it's going to vary from state to state. That way, you can work. You can do whatever you want. Still, be productive at your leisure. Have time for your family, for your kids, for yourself, your mental health, everything. And you don't have to worry about your basic needs. So I think that's the future. It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
These automated systems help us reduce, workplace hazards. I mean, there are things that they can do that human beings cannot do. They can lift things. They can move things.
One thing I like about AI is that I saw an article where AI is capable of detecting certain cancers better than human beings. That's where the money should go. That's where we should be focused. Hopefully it's true.
Okay, but what are people going to do for jobs?
Well, first of all, there will be a lot of people who can work in those data centers that don't need a four-year college degree. We can also train a new generation of Americans to understand how to use this great technology.
When 70% of students in the country are not attending college.
No. She said going to these industries that are coming, these new jobs and whatnot. But that's the problem. Before AI, before these bots, whatever new technology came into place, a human being would take over. I gave this example 1,000 times before, but the guy who used to light up the gas lamps on the streets, his job was wiped away by the light bulb. But the guy who replaces the light bulbs is another guy, it's another man. Now, for the first time in history, your job is not going to be replaced by another person who adapted to the technology. It's going to be taken over by a robot or an AI system.
Like China, use AI for the purpose of financial market manipulation, and we're going to have a catastrophe across the board.
Wow.
And so this is...
And somebody got thrown out. I think we have a little footage of it here. And by the way, thank you for...
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, I know you called her a radical left-wing activist.
Whoa.
First of all, they're invited too, aren't they?
Oh, of course. And,
okay.
And that's why I'm willing to do it at a time when, frankly, leadership is telling members not to do town halls. I think it's important to engage in conversation with my constituents. She asked a question as she was randomly called on to ask a question, which was fine. She asked a question. I answered it. She didn't like my answer. She kept screaming and haranguing. She got into a verbal altercation with my staff.
There you go.
She was asked to stop. She was asked to stop by security. She was then asked to stop by the state police and chose not to. So they escorted her, removed her.
That's one thing I don't like about the far left. I love many things, but that's one of them. They hate debating. If your idea is better, then debate that other idea. I don't understand the problem. I think because they know that they're going to sound crazy. The other side's going to sound a little more rational. And I'm not talking about the far right. I'm talking about just regular conservatives, old school Republicans. They're like the far left ideas, just like the far right, are insane. So they rather just scream and fight like the way she did and she got removed and stuff. But man, I noticed that so much on the far left. They hate debating. They rather insult, scream. I remember BLM. There's a video of it. Some BLM women interrupted, of all people, Bernie Sanders, telling him to shut up and let us speak at his rally. Come on, man.
That kind of stuff is unacceptable from my standpoint, and I'm more than willing to take the heat. I stood there for 2 hours, took questions, took booze,
Good for you.
And I have no problem with that. But if people want to come there to actually have a constructive dialogue,
that's what I'm saying.
Discussion, I'm all for it.
What
if
about
you want to protest, go do it outside.
Come on, that's how you do it.
I understood the Hill staff. Thank you, baby, because you can get gumbo too.
Holy shit!
You can bring your wife.
I will.
What?
I have a lot for everybody. I don't even discriminate against pets. You can bring your pets. But Bill, look.
World Trade Center Health Fund. There were cuts to 16 staff members and Dr. Howard, who runs the program. firefighters not being able to get certified to get cancer treatment.
I hate that.
This is not a joke. Luigi Mangione, he is the guy, yes, who shot the healthcare executive.
The musical.
Because as we know, that one healthcare executive is responsible for our entire imperfect healthcare system. Broadway has taken notice, and they've come up with some other musicals for really people you would not think would get a musical. Would you like to see some?
Yeah. The music.
For example, you've all heard of West Side Story, right? Okay, well now there's Kanye West's side of the story.
Side of the story.
One about Bin Laden's 9/11 plot coming out. It's called Osama Mia.
No.
You all know The Sound of Music, right? That was a great show. Now there's The Hound of Music about P. Diddy.
The Hound.
Beat Me in St. Louis, starring Chris Brown.
Beat Me.
Diddler on the Roof, starring Jeffrey Epstein.
Diddler, oh.
Hello, Dahmer. Trump was asked, do you have a duty to uphold the Constitution? And his answer was, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Cool answer if that was Biden or Obama?
Oh, come
Not a cool
on.
answer for Trump either?
Yes.
My girlfriend, she's a conservative, and she voted for Trump. She said that she liked the fact that he's not a politician, and I get that. I like that. You know, I wish there was a Democrat who wasn't a politician. But I hate how they talk, the robotic stuff. But the reason why he can get away with all that he says is because he's not a politician. He's not even your average celebrity where they gotta keep it polished, especially celebrities who have endorsement deals and stuff. But he has never gave a fuck, and it's kind of refreshing, and people like it, and I can see why they like it.
Joe Biden is out on the campaign, not on the campaign trail. Sense to him, I mean, he's still blaming it on sexism and racism.
Oh, come on. If it's true, they're in the minority.
And I like Joe Biden. I've known Joe Biden for as long as I've known you, almost 30-something years, baby. You know, you can't deny love.
30-something years, wow.
And I ain't getting no poopa-la-la? Baby, I do like you. I love you, dirty ass, when I didn't like you.
Damn.
I love you back.
I love you.
I love you.
I love Bill Maher. And I love Joe Biden.
Why isn't she on Club Random?
But I think among the first was the fact that the 6 or 7 million Americans who voted for Biden-Harris in 2020 did not come out because they didn't feel that the administration was doing enough. And maybe when Kamala was on The View, I know people talk about racism. We elected Barack Hussein Obama, not once, but twice. Yep. So America may have problems with race, but I'll tell you one damn thing.
Not only that, one thing that trips me out, man, is that a lot of Trump voters voted for Obama in 2008 and 12 by a huge margin, like a huge percentage. So all that about every Trump supporter is racist. Nah. Whatever racists are MAGA, they're probably in the minority. But they're there. If Trump really runs for a third term, you got to bring back Obama. Trump versus Obama, I know Obama will destroy him. I know.
I did 1,000 jokes about Biden stumbling and falling and getting off his bike and
he did
a diaper full of poop. You know, I mean,
maybe he was packing something else, Bill. You don't know. He made the decision to step back. He made the decision to run for office. At the end of the day, it was Joe Biden.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
That's one thing he did on The View that
should have done it earlier, but thank you.
No, he didn't.
He took responsibility.
No, he said it wouldn't have made any difference.
Correct.
That's what he said. I don't
think say that.
The American people would not vote for a convicted felon. And they thought that it was going to be...
I don't know about that.
More than the personal, what they disliked was the high inflation and the open borders. And that really drove the election. I would also say when it comes to what happened
policy
this year,
subject.
Tish James.
The headline.
34, it's because the thing he was convicted, why he's a convicted felon, is because of the Stormy Daniels case.
Yeah.
And he wrote 34 different checks. So
wow.
they can see through this bullshit. Now, I thought he should have gone to trial for what he really was guilty of.
The big one.
6th.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, not just January 6th.
No, the Georgia case.
Asking for votes in Georgia.
There you go.
But also not, January 6th is a little murky. What's not murky is that he never conceded the election, which encourages people to do things like January 6th.
Correct.
That to me was the crime.
Yep.
The Stormy Daniels thing. So when they hear convicted felon, that's why he keeps the picture of himself as a felon in the White House.
They love it.
I hear from people.
Fight for the American people.
But by the way,
fight for us.
People saw that image.
That image, man.
And then they saw the image of Joe Biden basically stumbling, and that was the difference.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
Joe Biden did a damn good job running his country, making sure that we got back from
He did.
got back on our feet.
He really could have did a better job with the border, but also, oh man, what a disaster, man. Pulling out of Afghanistan. That's probably his biggest tarnish. That's probably his biggest stain in his legacy, man. That getting out of Afghanistan, leaving all that equipment and weapons behind, and hoping that the Taliban won't go back to their old ways.
Neen Pirro from what?
She's my former colleague on Fox News. I can't say nothing.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, okay, good. I've heard of state-run TV. This is TV-run state.
Yeah. The TV, the network runs it.
Time for new rules.
New rule.
New rule, the NYPD must come to terms with the fact that they probably will not successfully prosecute Lucy Lawler. Witnesses all say the same thing. I didn't get a good look at her face.
Yeah, man. What is that? Yeah, is that true?
The raccoon that Ohio police found holding a meth pipe in a woman's car is why people need to keep raccoons out of their garbage cans, because garbage is a gateway litter to white trash. He's the one who should be locked up. I'm no snitch, but I'm pretty sure I saw gang symbols on those paws.
And then 13.
New rule, now that Dee Wallace, the actress who played the mom from E.T., has revealed that there was a romantic subplot between her and E.T., let's be thankful that didn't make the final cut.
For real, my God. That's too weird.
I don't think it would be quite the beloved classic it is if E.T.'s parting words to Elliot before boarding the spaceship was, by the way, I fucked your mom. New rule, the inventor of the new kitchen tool, pizza scissors, has to admit they're just scissors.
What happened to the knife? Or a pizza slicer?
You were high, you couldn't find that wheel cutter thing.
Yeah, wheel cutter.
So you said, fuck it, scissors. New pizza scissors. From the same stoner who brought you bread buns.
Oh, yeah, I've done this. Stoner.
New rule, don't hold the Met Gala the same week as the Papal Enclave. Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan says Democrats are, quote, weak and woke and should get some goddamn alpha energy and need to fucking retake the flag.
Yeah.
I gotta say this.
Come on.
I love this new trend where politicians say, fuck. Shit. It's like in a movie when they make an old white lady rap. She's a former CIA agent.
Whoa.
You know how every streaming action movie now is about a soccer mom who used to be in the CIA?
That's her.
Okay, that's really her.
Yeah.
Lady Deadpool is right. Democrats should reclaim the flag and then get it clean because someone's been humping it. Seriously, this is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. Although don't get Tucker Carlson started on Russia. But
we love Russia.
Yes, in America, gays buy buildings. In other places, they get thrown off them.
Oh.
Our current Congress is the most racially and ethnically diverse ever. They're like a beautiful, useless rainbow. And we proudly live in a land where every TV commercial features a mixed-race couple, including the ones where it makes no sense.
At all.
Mom's black, dad's white, and the kid's Asian. When an Irish rap group projected onto screens, "Fuck Israel, Free Palestine," got big applause. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval.
Oh, God.
What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
Yeah. But they can't be too wrong. Israel's wrong for bombing Palestine indiscriminately, just everyone. And Hamas is also wrong. It's also a terrorist group. But there's people in Israel who are against the war. And there's women and children and elderly people dying and suffering in Palestine who got nothing to do with that conflict. So both can be wrong.
So talk to your children and remind them all the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America, that's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville. You're like the girl in White Lotus who was going to live in a Buddhist monastery and then lasted one night. All right, that's our show. I want to thank Club Random drops every Sunday on YouTube or listen wherever you get podcasts. Now go to Overtime on YouTube. Thank you very much.
All right. I will catch you on the next one.